Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 24 Creator Team Career here on the PC. It's round 3 of our debut season with Nissan Racing and we are heading to Albert Park in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. And this could be a rough one. Historically, on the PlayStation, this has always been a very difficult third race. And I'm not sure if that's because of the missing DRS zone or just the fact that generally you might already be behind in the upgrades, plus you've got the worst car, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm not expecting great things tonight. I mean, we've kind of rode our luck a lot in the opening 2 rounds with a 14th and a 13th. Do not think we'll be that lucky tonight. I mean, I have hopes that we can maybe get a top 16 finish. That would be really nice, but I think anything beyond that is going to be extremely, extremely lucky. So we are ready to go into the Grand Prix, but before we do that, let's take a quick look around, shall we? So, our staffing, Matt is in a really enthusiastic mentality, which is great news. Dirk is positive, but not enthusiastic. And Aurelian is kind of bleh at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. Really want to work on our pit crew, improving as quickly as possible. And having him in a higher mentality will certainly help with that. In terms of our drivers, they're both in a positive mindset, which is excellent news. That'll help boost their stats a little bit. Let's take a look and compare their numbers. Teo very much in the ascendancy. His cornering already up to a 90 thanks to that boost on his stats there. 86 on the braking as well. We've got a 90 on reactions. Yeah, Teo is going to be very, very strong next season as he continues to develop this year. Mick is looking okay, pretty average, but no glaring weaknesses anywhere. I mean, his lowest stat is his smoothness. It would be nice if he could make the tyres last a little bit more, but he's not massively down on his teammate in that area. It's got some decent overtaking skills, but everything else is just lacking a little bit. So let me see what I am training him on at the moment. I think I'm training him on pace, aren't I? Yes, we're doing him on short run pace. So that improves his cornering, braking, adaptability, and accuracy. And yeah, he definitely needs to improve the cornering and the braking. The accuracy, getting that up will certainly help with his pace and consistency as well. And then the adaptability is just a nice little bonus on top. We are scouting somebody. We're scouting Tuka, as he is currently in free agency. So we could potentially sign ourselves a promising young driver very soon and start developing someone for the future. Our race engineers, yeah, they're not in the best mindset at the moment, and they're neutral. They're not negative, but it is what it is, I suppose. How you doing, Harvey? How you doing, Dino? He's losing out big time on the pace stats compared to Porsche. Yeah, well, Teo is very highly rated in the game. Mick has had a year of no racing at all. He's basically been the reserve driver. So, in fact, no, that's 2 seasons, isn't it? I think this is the 2nd season of him being a reserve driver. So it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't have really developed much and they wouldn't have rated him particularly highly. Hopefully he will improve enough to at least warrant keeping him around for another season. Harvey says you watched one of my tutorials, you're getting the hang of it, and you've called your team Porsche. I take it you went for the Porsche logo then. Facility-wise, everything here is pretty rough. It's all 1 star apart from our design center, which is at 2 stars. We do need to upgrade our factory. That's a 7 million upgrade, but we also need to continue to upgrade our race sim. We need to continue to upgrade the team hub. Really don't care about the scouts. And we also need to continue to upgrade the helipad, tour center, memorabilia room. Hospitality will probably stay at level 3 now for most, if not the rest of this season. We do have some parts in production. We've got a week to go until these 3 parts become available. And we've just put a couple of underfloors into manufacturing. We'll have both of those ready for Suzuka, which is in 2 weeks' time after this Grand Prix. So more performance is on the way, but we're only going to have the underfloors for Suzuka. The other parts are going to have to wait until Miami, I think. No, China is the next race after that. And I think we've got a bit of a gap to China. Let's take a look at next month. Yeah, we've got a 2-week gap until China. We will also have some money from our sponsors just before we go to Suzuka. Plus, we'll get some money for the end of the month or beginning of a new month there as well. So we do stand to gain a little bit of extra cash. The 1.6, 1.7 mil we're holding on to at the moment will be immediately deployed onto a new ATR period because you can see we're already nearly halfway through the current ATR period. We haven't used those hours yet. We're saving them, I think. Or did I use them on the underfloor? I don't think I used them on the underfloor. I don't remember. No, look, yeah, MAU hours remaining, 6.9. And there we go. So the underfloor got the hours from the first ATM. And then this current one will split it in half, I think, and do half on the front wing, half on the rear wing. If it looks like we can afford to get both of those wings up and running. Let's set some targets for tonight's race. I'm going to go 20th with Mick. And I'm going to go 18th with Teo. Would love to be able to push them both to 18th and get that little bit of extra cash, but I want to at least make sure we get something.
It's wonderful to be back down under for the Australian Grand Prix. We're a stone's throw from the beach here at the Albert Park Circuit. It might be party mood in the grandstands, but in the paddock, expectations and tensions are high. The previous race saw Carlos Sainz top the podium after a tremendous drive. Can he maintain his winning ways with another good outing this weekend? So stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. The weekend starts here.
All right. So once again, we're not changing out our driver lineup. We're not changing out any car parts. So it's straight into sorting out the setup. It's normally 20 laps around Melbourne if you want to split it and do 2 runs across a single session. So we're going to go for 30 laps. And just do 1. And then for setup, I'm going to go with like an 8.5 on the front. We'll go with a 13 on the rear. Let's go with an 8.2. And then we'll push the camber down to around here. We'll bring that down a little bit as well. Let's go with that. And we'll do something a little bit different with Teo, but not too different. Oops, that's too much fuel. There we go. And we'll go, I think, with a 7 on the front. Maybe a 7.5. We did, what, 8.5 for Mick, didn't we? Yeah, we'll go 7.5. Again, we'll go with a 13. Let's go with a 7.3 on this one instead of the 8.2. And then Push that up just a little bit. Push that down just a little bit. Let's see how we do. And out we
Should
go.
we green now?
Put a little bit of space between them.
We've already check.
And again, we'll just keep an eye out on the catch fencing, see if it starts to flicker.
Radio check.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Seems all good. All right, good stuff. So, let's speed up some time.
Tires are on the cold side.
We've got a couple of rookies again. We've got Felipe Drogovic out there, Ollie Behrman, Pato O'Ward, Kasper Stuka, Pietro Fittipaldi, Ayumu Iwasa. So a good smattering of reserve drivers there. I haven't got either of mine out there because I do not intend to keep either of them. Don't want to develop them. One's on car development, the other one's on marketing. I pretty much always do that. You know, doesn't matter how potentially good a reserve that I'm given is when I first start at a team. Generally want to handpick, unless it's a driver I know and had potential designs on at some point anyway. I would generally get rid of the existing reserve drivers and bring in the ones that I want to develop. All right, we are close to getting our feedback. Would be nice if we can get off to a really strong start this weekend. And there you can see the DRS wide open. It's so nice to see that. Can't understand why they still haven't fixed that on the console version, and I doubt they're ever going to get there's going to be any more support for the console version now. We're into June. I think they've dropped it like a hot potato now. I think that last patch where they added in everything was potentially maybe cramming in all the features that were supposed to be added into the 2026, or sorry, F1 Manager 25. Or maybe not even all of them. Maybe there was just some stuff that they just would have been added further down the line as well, but I can't see there being any more support for this game, which is a shame. I honestly believe if they had given this the proper support that it deserved, while it was certainly not making the money for them in the short term, if they'd gone for a long-term strategy and not just pumped out a new game every season, I think they could have actually had a winner on their hands. This game is so close to being a really good game, but it's just too many things that let it down.
What's your feedback?
I mean, I still love it, but yeah, I am
Much better.
cognizant of
Yeah,
its
copy.
flaws. Right, let's take a look at our feedback, shall we? See how we're doing. We're at 92%. That's a good start. And 88%. Not quite as good, but still not too far away. So, a pretty decent start, all things considered. Recorded a whole another batch of episodes for the Precinct earlier today, because the one that went live a couple hours ago was the last one that I had pre-prepared. So I've got to do some editing after this and start uploading the next batch. We are very close, I think, to the end now. Once this current batch that I've just finished recording is done with, we'll be going into the final arc of the story. So yeah, it's starting to get interesting in terms of where it's going to go. And of course, tomorrow is the next episode of the ATS series. I do need to record some more of that, but for some reason, the 4K upload, which was originally there, has disappeared, and it's now just in 1080p. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I did it in HDR as well, and it's umming and ahhing about activating the 4K until the HDR is finished. So it might be that, you know, somewhere down the line the 4K suddenly switches back on and it's in full HDR and looks glorious, but until then it's going to be in 1080p. Bit of a shame. We'll see how it goes with the rest of the series. I think that it looks all right in terms of the color palette. I was a bit worried because when I did a test watch before it went live with the first episode, it looked really oversaturated, horrendously oversaturated. But it didn't when I first uploaded it. It's strange, and I've checked the source videos and they look fine. So yeah, a bit odd. But I will be recording some more ATS as well. I don't know if there'll be another episode this week after tomorrow. Probably not. But I might go to 3 episodes a week next week. Still haven't had the time to sort of sit down and fully program all the buttons for the wheel, so that's probably going to be a weekend job for the next few episodes to be recorded. I've got a state of play to check out later after the stream as well. That goes live at 10 o'clock. I'll be watching that when we're done here tonight. See what gets announced. I'm hoping that the remaster of Space Marine 1 will be shown off in the state of play, because when they dropped the trailer during the Skulls live stream a week and a half ago. It was suspiciously absent. It was listed as coming to PC and Xbox and not PlayStation. But it's entirely possible that maybe Sony just asked for it to be held back because they were wanting to include it in their state of play. So keeping my fingers crossed that gets shown tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be probably a timed exclusive, which just makes no sense on a game that old. Let's up that to an 8. Need to find a fair bit here. So I'm actually going to go with that. I'm worried I might have broken that wing. Let's go back like that, and let's push this up a bit more. And then bring this up a bit. Let's try that. See how that works. There we go. We're done with the first session. Just need to ride out the clock on this. Last couple of minutes of the session. Ferrari looking ominously quick again. Drogovic up there in the Aston. So Stroll as well, actually. Right, 39% gained to that first session, not bad. I don't know, I might go back to the black for our logo. It does look pretty hard to see on the white. Can't do it in red because then it won't be visible on the red walls. You know it will pop up on a red wall somewhere. Right, we made the changes to the setup. Let's go for another 30 laps on these mediums. And over here, 30 laps. Again, you can see here on the back wall, quite hard to see, but I'm sure it will show up somewhere on a red wall. I think the colour above our pit wall, our pit box, is red. White shows up quite nicely on that. Black, not quite so much, but I mean, we're black here on the back of our red shirts. Something to ponder. Oh no, look, yeah, it's red there and it's white. I think the biggest problem is it's small. It's tricky to see. But because of the way the logo is constructed, I can't really do that much about it. It's about as big as I can make it, I think. I'll check. See if there is any way to extend its size a little bit.
big.
Joe showing some early signs of pace. And then the Ferrari goes top on the hard tyres. Right, feedback is about to drop. Let's see if we've gone the right way with those changes. No, is the answer with Teo. We've lost 4% there. What about Mick? Mick is the one who was... Actually, was Mick the one at... No, Mick was at 92, so looks like Teo has stayed the same. Which means that something will have improved and something else will have got worse at the same time. So that actually should hopefully paint a clearer picture of where we need to change things for Teo. Let's get mixed feedback. 97, so we've improved Schumacher, but we have gone wrong somewhere with Teo.
Yep, okay.
I think I'm going to call him in. Evening, Adrian.
Yeah, we can box.
We'll leave Schumacher out. 97% puts him in a really strong position. Bit of a long old trek to the garage. Oh, we got a yellow flag. Someone running wide. Maybe locking up. Yeah, Joe running wide through two. So that'll be actually cutting the inside of two.
Just a bit too wide at that point. That won't do the floor of the car any good at all.
All right, let's see. So there we go. You see, so that has changed. So we know that that's now a 6-4. Everything else should now theoretically start to drop into place. Let's push that up a bit. Front wing has changed slightly. I don't know if it's changed enough. I'm going to go with that, I think. Oh, no, not revert. Run plan. And we'll send Teo back out. There's one thing you hate about F1 Manager 24. What's that, Harvey? we go. Teo's back on track. So mix up to 47%. He'll be hitting the pits pretty soon. And then we'll easily get him up to 100% prep. There we go, he's into the garage. Let's see, is it the front wing that needs to change? No, it's the cornering. We'll push that up by 1. Let's pull... that up like that, and hopefully that will work. Evening, Bill. We'll check that in the next session.
I am not fully ready, okay?
Tyres are getting a bit low. Hopefully we'll get the full feedback before the end of the session. We should just about have enough time, but whether we've got enough laps left in terms of fuel is another matter. Let's keep him out there. Guys really are struggling now. There we go. There's the feedback. Now we'll call him in. 98%. Oh, that's a massive improvement.
We will stop on the mark.
And session is over. Okay. On to the final practice session. So I would need to go 2% or 2 clicks. It's which way do I go? Let's go back to the 0.6. We're going to run the soft tyres because I think we might need the mediums. Go for 20 laps. Let's see if we are right to make those changes the way we have done.
Okay, remember, good brake warming.
New comic from Lollipop Man is now up on his YouTube channel. I will always plug Lollipop Man's channel because I love his videos. They are hilarious. If you have not yet checked them out, please do. There are some long-running jokes that, if you're new to the channel, might not make sense. So it's definitely worth going back and watching from 2 or 3 seasons ago. But very clever comedy. Very enjoyable. So we have enough prep. So even if we don't get these setups 100% right, we should be covered. All right, 95% and 95%. So we went wrong with both of them. They're both in the garage as well. Okay, so we went the wrong way on that. Let's revert back to the 97. And then let's go to a 2.9. Hopefully the front wing will still be okay with an 8, and then we can bring that down to compensate. That should theoretically still be okay. We'll go with that. And on this one, we just went the wrong way. So if we go back to where we were and then go 2 clicks the other way, that should theoretically now be 100%. There we go. When it's practice 1, you have hards. When you practice 2, mediums, practice 3, softs. Why can't we just use the same tyres from the first practice session? Because you're mandated by the rules that you have to give back 2 sets of tyres in each session. So that's why it becomes a choice of how you manage your tyres. Now, if you just give back softs in 2 of those sessions and then mediums in another session, then you'll have 2 sets of mediums for the race, 2 sets of hards for the race, but you'll have very few softs for the race. If you want to focus on having a lot of softs, then you use the mediums and use the hards and try to save not using softs in practice, and then you'll get an extra set available for the rest of the Grand Prix weekend. Forces you to be a little tactical with your tyre choices, but those are mandated in the rules of F1, not just this game. Why you always have to be a little bit careful on wet practice weekends and check to see what tyres are being handed back at the end of each session. Because if you don't use a set of tyres, it will default it to a set of softs. Okay, so final practice times are there. Once again, ominous pace from the Ferrari. Piastri looking pretty quick though. So is Norris. So McLaren look like they might be a little bit quicker this weekend. Max down in 4th place. Checo in 8th. Again, these are practice times, so they don't necessarily mean a huge amount. But we'll be interested to see if this pace, or this snapshot of pace here, translate into qualifying, which is next.
Will practice pay off for the drivers? Well, we're about to find out in qualifying.
These days, it's a much faster layout here at Albert Park, and teams need to focus on getting high and medium speed cornering right to set a good qualifying time.
There's been a bit of talk about Alex Albon, Karun. How are things looking for him today?
We saw some disappointing lap times from them in practice. It could be that the team were experimenting with the car, but the pressure's now on them to deliver.
What does today have in store? Only time will tell.
What indeed. All right, let's take a look then. We've made the changes to our setup. Gearbox down to 69%, engine at 73, 72 and 68. Yeah, they're wearing out quick, aren't they? We have 4 sets of softs in total. 1 which is locked until we reach Q3, or until the race if we don't make it to Q3. We do have an extra set of mediums because we kept one by running softs in practice. So let's just see how we get on with the soft tyres. Might have to use 2 sets in this session. Just to make sure that we can have a good chance of getting out of the session. Let's see if Mick is once again way off the pace of Teo.
Okay, mate. As much effort as you can to put these tires in temperature, please.
Copy.
Work as much as you can on brakes and tires.
Copy, copy.
Switch on the sectors. There we go. So, speaking of Williams, they're sending out Logan Sargent nice and early.
This is a good position for us. Come on.
Evening, Tony. How long till you get to reclaim your name? It's got to be close. And are you going to keep the avatar? So mixed tyres are not up to temperature at all. Neither are Teo's, for that matter.
Clear ahead.
But they're in better condition, slightly, in terms of temperature. Yeah, his rear tyres are a little bit better. His front tyres are a little bit better. Okay, so that's a little disconcerting that the tyres aren't warming up properly. $27.1 for Schumacher. $26.9 for Teo, so that's 0.2 already. Very short middle sector, 18.8 for Schumacher. I'm expecting Teo to be quicker again. And he is by a tenth. Sergeant's done a 26.7 in the first sector. So yeah, our tyres not firing up. That is not good. Matched in the middle, in fact, slightly quicker in the middle. 32.5
Really slow
across
map.
the line.
Yeah, copy.
Not Tony's tackle box. Porsche goes nearly 6/10 quicker. See what Logan Sargent does as he comes out of the final corner. And he splits the two of us. So yeah, that first sector is where we lost some time. We were better than Sargent with Porsche across the rest of the lap. But we lost out a couple of tenths in the first sector. Mick down in the first sector by 4 tenths and then pretty much matched him everywhere else. Any comment?
Copy, R03.
Speed limiter on, please.
Stop in position. I've got your mirrors, not sure who's pushing, who's not.
R03.
Stop on the max.
All right, let's run the same tyres and let's send him straight back out while the track is still relatively quiet. Get Porsche in and then we'll send him out behind Teo as well, I think, for a slipstream. Just let this Mercedes come through. George finishing his flying lap. Magnussen goes top slightly quicker than Charles Leclerc. That's a surprise. Did Leclerc get held up somewhere? There goes Carlos Sainz. Oh, you were always complaining you're going to get sacked, and you never do.
Copy.
How did you do in Austin? Well positioned on the slipstream here. Porsche's not going to get one off the back of Sainz, but that was never the target plan anyway. It was always just Mick getting a toe off the back of Teo. Let's check tyre temps before they start the lap, see if they're any better this time round. A little bit better, but still a little low. Yeah, still low. Just not firing up. So 85 is the window around here. Okay, so Mick is now pretty much up to temperature. 26.7 for both drivers. So they both find a little bit more this time around. It was 26.9 and 27.1 last time. 18.8 and 18.7 in the middle sector. Science is an 18.4. We're up on the first sector on him. We did an 18.7 for Schumacher, 18.8 for Porsche. So that's the other way around compared to the last time. And I forget what it was across the line, but we'll see what kind of improvement they can get. It should be an improvement. So that's good P2. No improvement for Teo. Mick finds a little bit of time.
Okay, so the situation at the moment.
But yeah, we just fell away at the end there. Look at the difference on our lap to Sainz's lap. We had him in the first sector. Then he had us in the middle sector by 3 or 4 tenths. And then he absolutely destroyed us by 6 and 8 tenths in the final sector. Max was 13th. Piastri would have been with him, but got smashed with damage. But you got your first ever under 2 second stop. Nice. Who's your sporting director?
I've got your mirrors.
Yeah, Wheatley's good, but I think quite possibly the best one in the game when you take age into consideration. Diego at Ferrari. I think he's the best
We will stop on the mark.
because he can develop quite quickly and he's always happy. He just can't stop smiling. And he's what's powered my Ferrari pit crew. No, Tondi's the head of Aero. It's Diego Ioverno. How long we got left in the session? 7 minutes. So we'll prep a new set of tyres just in case. I think we'll have to go again, but we'll wait till the very end of the session. We've got a problem. Mick is in front of Teo. And yeah, he's got the instruction to pull over. We'll turn it off, but I don't think we'll be able to stop it from actually taking effect. Maybe we got away with it. So we're into the shootout. We are quite possibly going to have some quicker cars coming through. Yeah, every time I go into this view, that bright red and the bright white of the car that we can see from inside the cockpit, it just invokes just evokes memories of Senna's McLaren. Please tell me there's no one else right behind us. No, there isn't. That's good. Last thing I want is to have to pull over on the exit of the final corner. So we lost our slipstream option to the Red Bull, or the RBs, the V-Carps, whatever you want to call them, the Minardis. Both drivers currently scheduled to be eliminated. Terrible first sector for Mick. So Mick's going out. It's a chance for Porsche though. Now that he's going to get a slipstream from the back of Schumacher, he gets an 18.6. And we are basically putting all of our eggs in the Porsche basket. It's all down to this final sector. And it's not a good one. And both drivers are out in 19th and 20th. I'd say this is going to be a painful Grand Prix for us. And qualifying is bearing that out, unfortunately. Both drivers eliminated. Ugh. 19th and 20th. Logan Sargent 21st, Gasly 22nd. Also eliminated Magnussen in 18th, Bottas in 17th. So let's see who sticks it on pole, shall we? It's Charles Leclerc just ahead of Max Verstappen. Leclerc and Charles on the front row. Sainz first of the second row there in third place. And it's Norris, Perez, Alonso, Piastri in 7th at his home Grand Prix. You would have hoped for a better qualifying than that. Tsunoda in 8th. Then it's Stroll in 9th. Lewis Hamilton in 10th. So in Q2, Alex Albon went out in 11th ahead of George Russell, down in 12th place. Good for Mercedes there. Hulkenberg 13th, Ricciardo 14th at his home Grand Prix. Then Ocon and Zhou. And then it's back down to the bottom of the grid. So qualifying has been set. Let's start prepping for the Grand Prix.
Well, the fans here are all set, every one of them eagerly awaiting the 58 laps of today's race.
Albert Park often seems to set teammate against teammate. From Hill and Villeneuve dueling for the 1996 win, to Bottas beating fellow Mercedes driver and pole sitter Hamilton to the win in 2019.
Albert Park is a deceptively easy track to learn, but it's just as easy to make a mistake around its walled sections and gravel traps. The street circuit is high downforce and just as heavy on brakes as it is on tyres. Welcome to race day, and before we get down to it, last minute checks are being made.
All right, let's take a look at strategy. So, I'd like us to start on the softs. Maybe try and go for an undercut. But I imagine that the rest of the grid's probably going to be quite aggressive on their tyres as well. I mean, we could potentially try and go for a 3-stop. Might be something that's worth Don't have a third set of softs available. But what I'm thinking is if we go really aggressive, get that early up undercut, back on the softs again, and then go medium, medium to the end. Like that. Might net something for us. Ideally, I would like to just do 2 stops with Teo. His tyre wear is a little bit better. It's asking a lot. So what about if we do the same thing here? And we go extreme soft, soft, medium, and then we could even potentially treat the last set of mediums like a set of softs. Like that. That's quicker, but only by 2 seconds. That's 5 seconds quicker. Maybe we do that then. Maybe just go medium, hard, medium. What about soft, hard, medium? I'm not factoring the dirty air in, am I? Dirty air's can potentially hurt the tyres. It's quite cool. So I don't want to be in a position where we're having to try and preserve the tyres because I don't think that would actually work very well for us. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to try and get that extra set of stops in and just see if we can maybe snag a decent pit stop and get some pit stop points, which will translate into more money at the end of the season. So we'll go with that. Let's take 3 laps of fuel out, because I do think we'll probably get a safety car of some kind, normal or VSC. It's 1% away. Damn it. That's close enough. Let's send them to the grid for the start of the Australian Grand Prix after these short messages. Assuming that you did actually get that bit there. Right. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. Our attention shifts to Lewis Hamilton and what he can produce in this race.
Just sitting inside the points places, they need to defend well and look to push hard where possible.
And it looks like we're good to go. Get ready for the Australian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Good start from Leclerc. Sainz looking to get past Verstappen, and does so. And that's 2 cars on mediums now in front of Max on his soft tyres. Norris hangs on to 4th, Alonso 5th. Stroll and Tsunoda briefly swapping places. Pourchaire's got himself up into 18th. Russell has a bit of a problem there, and that slows the pack up a bit. Luckily, hasn't dropped him away from the back of the pack in front too much. Magnussen trying to find a way through. Track temperature just 23.9 degrees at the moment.
DRS enabled.
Joe is already threatening to get a little dropped here. There's some interesting little sparkles there. I don't know whether dropping the settings down will improve that. Let's try dropping that down to 80. See if that makes any positive changes. It might make it look worse. We'll see. Might start getting a lot of light blooms flashing now. I thought I heard the screech of someone. Magnussen's locked up. He is going again.
Good job.
Now this is turn 6. And there goes the steering. And they ended up their own.
Yeah, I heard the
passenger.
screech and I thought, did Teo just lock up? But it wasn't Teo. It was right behind Teo. That counts as an overtake, I think, for Mick. Yeah, his confidence is nice and high. Let's turn on his battery now. And let's turn on Teo's battery as well.
Okay.
And now we get to see if we've actually managed to improve the little black dots. Not really. Might have even made it slightly worse. Let's go the other way. It's a risk, because that might kick the catch fencing into some all sorts of weird sparkly effects. We'll slow the frame rate down slightly as well. I've yet to find the perfect setting. So it makes it look really good, but doesn't completely cripple the frame rate. Yeah, those little light blooms there, those purple flashes, I can't stand those. They drive me crazy. All right, let's just go back to where we were. 85, leave it at that, and we'll just have to live with the black dots. So we're not really closing in on Joe. But then we're not pushing the tyres and the AI is. What if the AI is 3-stopping?
Copy. Yeah, copy.
Copy, copy.
Mick's got his mirrors full. Porsche is trying desperately to get onto the back of Zhou. He's not quite there, but he's not far off. The saving grace is that Zhou doesn't have DRS himself. So we do have a slight chance of getting it. You see in the background Mick able to keep Gasly behind him, and I think we might have just maybe tagged the DRS. If we have, it'll be a double DRS. No, we didn't get it. We didn't get it, but we're into the slipstream now. So hopefully we can stay close enough. Gasly not able to find his way through. See how our tyres are faring in the dirty air. Oh, we're supposed to be pushing them, aren't we? I forgot. We're supposed to be pushing them on this stint. Damn. All right.
Okay,
Let's
we
turn
need
them
to
up.
push a bit more.
Whoops.
Head down now. Try to get a good pace.
Well, that's maybe giving us an extra lap on track. Oh. Piastri and Hamilton. It's a full-on safety car. Everyone's going to dive in the pits. Do we stay out? Piastri's in the wall. Hamilton is looking rather worse for wear. Sainz has already dived in the pits. Leclerc didn't get round in time. Or he was already past the pit entrance when they called the safety car. Okay. This makes things a bit more interesting. We could maybe stay out on the tyres that we're on. Take those off. And just go now to run mediums for the rest of the race. Because we can save a bit of tyre wear here. If we do that as well. I'm just thinking about trying to keep some track position. The other alternative is that we switch to that. Which might be the better call. We'll switch to that. I'll try and do something a little different with Teo though, because Teo has got that better tyre wear. What about if I do this with Teo? That I can make work. So we'll box Teo now. We'll put him onto a set of softs. And then he can run medium. We wanted to get those extra stops in, didn't we? So let's box Mick now as well. And then we'll go on to a set of mediums and then hards at the end. Like so. And we'll do that with Mick. That's how we'll change things up a bit. So let's call them in. New soft tyres. Confirm. New soft tyres. Confirm. We can start saving fuel and rebuilding the battery, which is very nice. There we go.
Okay, 60.
Norris has gone around. Max is pitted. Alonso's pitting.
Try to keep tires
I
up.
think anyone who's on softs or has tyres in a particular state might well box. Yeah, there goes most of the field. Look, will Hulkenberg stay out? No. Yes, Hulkenberg stays out.
Pit lane. Pit entry.
So, interesting. Not as many people boxed as I thought they would. I'm surprised Perez didn't, but then Max was in the pits. Maybe that's why.
Oh dear, that's not a good stop.
2.9 seconds. 2.8 seconds. We actually managed to jump a car or two. We're in 15th and 18th. And
Now there's been an issue in the pits.
a lot of cars, you'll see potentially. We actually got Joe to stop in the fast lane and let us out, which surprised me. We didn't quite see it from that camera angle. But yeah, 9th on the fastest stop there. I mean, those times aren't going to stay good. But look at this. Almost everybody who stopped put on a set of hard tyres. Yuki put on a set of mediums. Ricardo put on a set of mediums. And
There's a big crash.
Magnussen put on a set of
Everybody
softs.
okay?
But everyone else put on a set of hard tyres. Not counting us.
Still quite a few debris on track.
Easy, mate, easy.
So we need to be able to make some forward progress here, potentially. But we are going to get, again, potentially, a nice undercut here on all of those guys in front of us who are on hard tyres. So we might be able to steal some track position when we come out of the pits after our next stop. It all depends how hard they push those hard tyres. As Magnussen joins the back of the train, that is everybody now in the queue. So we may well see the safety car come in at the end of this lap. So, updated running order then on the beginning of lap 7 is Charles Leclerc in the lead from Lando Norris, then Oscar Perez. It's Checo Perez. Those three didn't stop. Neither did Lance Stroll in 4th, still on those hard tyres. Then we get the first of the stoppers, Sainz, with Verstappen behind in 6th. Hulkenberg stayed out. He is still on his original starting tyres. Then it is Tsunoda and Alonso. Sargent stayed out on his hard tyres, and it's Albon, Russell, Ocon, Bottas, Pourchaire in 15th, 16th for Ricardo, 17th for Gasly, 18th for Mick, 19th for Zhou, and Magnussen in 20th. We're getting some
Keep
purple
working the
spots.
brakes.
And the safety car is coming in.
Safety car in this lap.
I had a feeling it might.
Be ready to restart.
Copy.
The main thing is the warm-up on this tire, okay?
Try to get these tires up, okay?
Copy.
Let's get ourselves a thumbnail.
Copy. Copy.
So tyres are a little low on the temperature, but
15th in the pit.
hopefully they'll do okay
Remember overtaking from the line.
on the restart. Temperature 25 degrees. It's not all that hot. And we've saved a couple of kilos worth of fuel already. It's around, I think, 1.8 kilos a lap. So, assuming that we get lapped, we still need to find another kilo of fuel, minimum. We might need to find the full 2.8 if we're not careful. Tyre temps are a problem. Need to get some heat into mixed tyres quickly. Porsche's okay, just about.
Full focus on one.
His tyres are about to switch on.
Tires are good, mate.
Copy.
Yeah, Resident Evil.
Porsche holding back Ricardo there. Trying to get back in range. Porsche's tyres dipped back down out of the window again. There we go, we've got the DRS, so now we can turn on the battery for Teo.
Copy.
We can turn it on to top up for Mick. And we have been dropped, haven't we? Yeah, they're not messing around on those hard tyres. And Ricardo got through. Had the DRS. I think it was probably a little bit inevitable. As long as we can stay with him.
Focus on yourself now.
Again, Porsche's tyres still not firing properly. There we go. A little bit of extra temperature.
Copy.
So 16th and 18th. Our target's 18th for Porsche, 20th for Mick. And I'm not so sure we're actually going to get that undercut, you know. With the way they're pushing their tyres. If we do, it'll be a minuscule one by the look of it. We might have to box a little earlier than planned. Just to make sure we do get that undercut. Because this whole change of strategy is kind of banking on getting out and getting a few laps before the hards hit the pits. The wild cards are the guys who didn't stop at the beginning. So Perez, Stroll, not really a factor. They're going to be too quick for us. Same for Norris and Leclerc. But Sargent is definitely going to be a wild card factor. As is Magnussen on those softs behind us.
2 second gap.
Ricardo is making that progress that he needs to. Hulkenberg also is going to be a wild card factor. His tyres at 57%. Mick has been dropped again. We'll just have to let Mick fend for himself as Porsche gets through on Esteban Ocon. Next up, Logan Sargent, and we'll have DRS here. Mick's back in potential contention again. Did he get the DRS? Yes, he did. Lovely stuff. And we've got another yellow flag. It's a VSC. Is that Max? It is Max. What has happened to Max? I think he's in the wall here. All right, VSC. Wow, it's just all kicking off, isn't it?
VSC, VSC.
Yeah, Max is out.
Fun.
Oh, big lockup.
Unbelievable.
And look at the team there. They all knew what that moment meant.
I think he was looking for George. They put him on hard tyres. He was raging. He was looking for George. And missed. Pretty sure that's the audio from his crash at Silverstone, but it sounds like it's from something else. So this potentially changes things. I would imagine Perez will dive in here and get a cheap pit stop.
Up 1.1.
I mean, I would. Tyres like that. It's pretty much his pit window as it is. And he does. Now, what about Hulkenberg? Hulkenberg stayed out. Is he going to get out in front of Mick? Nope. Yes. No. There's Mick. Oh, and he nearly hits Magnussen. So we're going to have a fast Perez trying to punch his way through behind us. And he's right in front of Zhou. Norris leads from Charles Leclerc. It's Stroll in second. Stroll in third, sorry. Sainz is in fourth, and it's Yuki, Alonso, Russell, Hulkenberg now up into 8th place. Albon in 9th. Valtteri is 10th. Then Ricciardo, Sargent, Porsche in 13th now. Then Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, Mick Schumacher 16th, 17th for Magnussen, 18th for Checo Perez, who has just stopped for new hard tyres, and Zhou in 19th. 3 retirements now, and big names as well. Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, and Lewis Hamilton, who will have a penalty applied to qualifying for when we go to Suzuka. Thanks for that crash with Piastri. And we should be back underway again pretty soon. And we've almost dealt with our fuel issues. I'm actually going to turn the tyres up now.
So get these tires back up to 10.
Oh, well, there we go. I'm actually going to turn them way up.
Is the warm up on this tire, okay? VSC, I think.
And we're going to push
Copy.
the battery.
Here is on.
See if we can get past Logan Sargent.
Copy.
And get Schumacher back onto Gasly.
Copy.
We've only done 13 and a half laps. And already 3 big name retirements. A full safety car and a VSC. Maybe we can still get something out of this weekend.
Pressures on temps are looking stable.
Copy.
Right, Perez is already past Magnussen, so he's going to be rocking up past Schumacher, probably on this straight. He's already pulled out alongside him. Dives up the inside at 2. We get pushed onto the grass, and that means Magnussen's going to get through as well. Can we at least hold back Zhou? No. Maybe.
Okay. No
What a
worries. Race is
terrible sequence for Schumacher. He does just about... No, he still hasn't got Zhou. Now Zhou's gone. Now Zhou goes off the track. But yeah, not a good little run there at all. How is Porsche getting on? He's got Ocon all over the back of him. Still hasn't got past Logan Sargent. Let's give him full tyre. And
Come on, mate.
late braking to see if we can get the move done here at the end of this second DRS zone.
Copy, copy.
He's having a look. Go on up the inside. Up the inside, son. Nope. And now we might lose out to Ocon.
So you're
We're out of battery.
Copy, copy.
I need to overpush.
Copy that.
Oh, man.
Copy.
They're all lining up to have a look at Teo.
Be ready.
Copy.
Pit window opens up next lap for Porsche. It's already open for Mick. At least we've got Mick back into range of Magnussen, who is probably going to box, if not this lap, then the next lap. We've got a fault for Logan Sargent. Why couldn't he have that fault when we were trying to overtake him? It made things a little easier for us. No way through, and that means we're going to lose out to Perez as well. Now Zhou's got past Schumacher.
Come on.
Pretty bad couple of laps. Magnussen's in already then. So, let's see what he goes on to. Is he going on to hards?
Copy.
Yes, he is. Set of hard tyres. It's a bad stop. A little tricky getting that front right off. And we make a move on Pierre Gasly. A little boost to the confidence level there. How's Mick getting on? Not well. Tyres are dying as well. Just need to stay with the pack as much as we can now until we make our stops, which is going to happen very soon. We are, in the end, going to get an undercut on quite a few cars. Hulkenberg's still going to stop before us. We're going to stop probably around the same sort of time as Logan Sargent. Ricciardo will stop at a similar point to us. In fact, Hulkenberg's in now. That was earlier than expected.
I know, man. Just keep it cool.
Ocon's gone. He's got past Sargent and it's just taken off. Thing is, I don't know whether or not we could actually keep pace with Ocon if we'd been able to get through. As Sargent gets onto the grass there, that's going to slow his exit down a little bit. There'll be a sitting duck for Gasly potentially in the braking zone. No, is that Mac? No, that's got to be Hulkenberg. It is. And Hulkenberg's on a set of softs because he's already used his hard. So curious as to what he's going to run for the rest of this race.
Okay, copy, good. Copy, copy.
Right, so Mick is stopping next lap. So let's crucify what's left of the tyres.
Come on, let's go get him.
Put him in harvest mode as well. Try and save some battery. Harvest with Teo. Teo's got another lap to do after this one. And there's Hulkenberg already right on our backside. Magnussen's closing in quickly as well. So, set of mediums.
Now.
Copy for box.
And here comes Hulk. Have a look at the inside. Mick's shut him down because he's really, really hammering the tyres. And we are just stuck. But we are boxing, so I say we're stuck. We're actually kind of probably hanging on a little bit now. We were stuck earlier. Now we don't have the grip left to do anything but stay with the pack. Hulkenberg has got through. Let's stroll into the pits. So Magnus has got a big old undercut on us. We're going to come out way behind him. But we will jump a few of these guys. As into the pits comes Mick Schumacher. Not sure the tyres will last a full lap like that.
Try to keep the tires.
Copy that.
And box.
Okay, copy, box, box.
2.71, that's slightly quicker. That's our best stop so far today. There goes K-Mag. Let's get these tyres fired up and try and improve our chances.
Copy.
And now we're just playing defense. Frustrating Hulkenberg and Joe a little bit. Sure, this will be a lunge from the Hulk. It is. But we kept Joe behind. That's good for Mick.
Copy. lane.
In comes Teo for his second stop. Can it be quicker than 2.71? Almost. 2.72. So that's a decent stop for both of our drivers. There's Mick.
Try to get these tires up, okay?
Copy, copy. Copy.
So now we just
No
need to
need to
try and
defend.
pick the
Nice
pace
forward,
up
come on.
enough that we can jump some of those guys who have yet to stop. Drivers like Ocon and Gasly and Zhou.
Copy.
Sargent. Well, Sargent's probably going to box this lap, so maybe, if we're lucky, we'll jump Sargent. He has been a little slow. Into the pits he comes. Pretty sure we've done enough with Mick to jump him. It's not a quick stop either. This is going to be tight. There goes Mick. Where's Teo? Teo's going to come out right behind him. But tyres are up to temp using the battery. This should hopefully be an easy overtake. And it's not.
Copy.
Damn. Damn.
Tires are looking good for me.
Copy. Copy, copy.
Eyes forward.
Copy, copy.
All right, see if we can get him this time round. I mean, he's now going to be pushing his tyres. And that will make it a little trickier. But we have the DRS. So we'll close up into 1. And then, if we're lucky, we can get him into 3. I think we're a little too far back. Norris boxes from P2. Sainz going through. He's right behind his teammate. Decent stop. We still have not caught up or got past Porsche, Sargent, and we're struggling to stay with him at the moment. He is definitely pushing. Trying to go after Schumacher. We're doing 122s with Mick at the moment, which is definitely quicker than these guys. Quicker than Ocon. Quicker than Valtteri. No, Valtteri is... Where is Valtteri? He's all the way over there. I think he's probably a little too far ahead. All right, this could be a last hurrah for Porsche. Don't really have the battery left anymore. Do personal best lap, but I have to amend our driver's mentality a little bit. So we did get back in front of Zhou. with both cars, although Porsche has not done as well as I would have liked. It's actually looking a little slow at the moment. It is Schumacher leading the way. Valtteri's into the pits.
Tires are okay.
Okay.
Gasly's in now. We should be able to clear Gasly. Valtteri exiting the pit lane and into turn one. So yeah, he was too far ahead. Have we done enough to get past Pierre with both cars? Yes, we have. I think Joe might get him as well.
Understood.
Yes, he did. So 15th and 17th. And the big shock is it's Mick who's actually in P15.
Copy.
Let's try and up the pace a little bit. Russell boxing from second place. Onto a set of mediums. Let's see where he drops out. It'll be clear of Stroll. So that'll be P6 for George. Albon boxes. Yeah, and he's way too far ahead for us to pay any attention to. This is actually going to be tighter than I thought here. But he does get out in front of Stroll. Can he get those tyres fired up quickly enough? Looks like the answer is yes.
Copy.
Now Ocon's in the pits and we should be jumping Esteban as well. Well, actually, no, Ocon got free, didn't he? And he just blitzed. And you can see how much damage us being stuck behind Sargent when Ocon got through has done. He's off. And with a new set of soft tyres, we're not catching him. New fastest lap for Lando Norris, a 1:19.6. That's pretty quick. Pretty handy turn of pace there.
Yeah, are the tires?
Good. It's okay.
And we're basically now locked to whatever pace Schumacher can manage. If we had Porsche in front, we would be able to lap a little bit quicker, but I think actually, perversely, having Mick leading the way is actually better for us because Porsche is going to be a little bit better at defending, I think. He's certainly going to have the ability to stay close to Sargent. So I think there's less of a likelihood of him getting overtaken than there is Mick. You know, when it comes to the trailing pack in the mid-train. Sooner or later, Sargent is going to find a way through. As Hulkenberg hits the pits, there's a look from Logan. He thinks better of it, and that might open the door for Teo.
Copy, copy.
Let's get Teo to dump the battery in an attempt to complete that move. Edging ahead. And there we go, completes the move. Lovely stuff.
Copy.
Now we'll just make sure that we get into the DRS bit. There we go. Now we'll try and save a bit of battery
Copy.
so that we can let Teo through. See if we can let him scamper off a little bit.
Yeah, copy.
In fact, Joe got through against Sargent as well. Which means Gasly will almost certainly have a run at him. And Gasly gets him. So Sargent suddenly found himself at the very back of the field.
Okay, copy, copy.
Track temperature back down to 23.9. It's not that hot. You can see our tyres really aren't struggling with the heat at all. But what about the dirty air? It's actually doing all right, isn't it? We're slightly above the prediction. That's a surprise. I thought if anyone's tyres are going to be slightly worse, it would be Teo's, given that he has spent almost his entire stint in dirty air. But seems to be coping okay.
Copy.
And it's Sargent who's struggling. He's not even able to keep pace with this pack. Right, next lap, we'll try and punch Porsche through.
Copy.
Can't take the risk of telling Mick to pull over and let him through because Joe will scamper through and Gasly will probably get through as well. So this needs to be done on track in combat. In fact, let's see if we can do it here.
Copy. Copy.
No.
Come on.
Okay.
Magnussen's into the pits.
Come on.
We might jump him. He might get out just in front of us. Oh, he's just pulling into his pit box now, so yeah, we should jump him here.
In 2 seconds now. Just do your best. Come on. Get dinner.
Copy.
Damn, just can't get through. I might have to give Mick an instruction here.
Copy.
Remember, we need the tires for long.
Copy, copy.
And I have to be really careful where I do it now as well because of the DRS. These are double DRS zones, so If I let him through here, he's vulnerable in the next DRS zone because they're linked. And I don't have a huge window between the zones.
Copy.
Damn it. He's going to pull over in a really bad spot now. I know he is.
Copy. Yeah, copy.
There he goes.
Copy.
Luckily, we didn't lose a position. I'm not quite sure how we didn't lose the position.
Copy.
Teo is through and away.
Gap 06.
And now has saved the last of Mick's battery. So that Porsche can try and open that gap up a little bit. Track temperature falling again, down to 22.5 degrees. Cloud cover has rolled in. Porsche still has a way to go on these tyres. You can't really push them.
How are the tires?
Starting to feel the fronts a bit.
Gap 03. Eyes forward, clean driving, come on.
I actually think Mick is going a little bit better than Teo at the moment. Despite Teo using the battery, I think he's actually closing the gap down. He is. Really not sure what's going on here. But Mick seems to be having a really good race right now. Porsche's confidence isn't amazing. Mick's is about the same. So it's not a confidence issue. Mick's closing the gap.
DRS.
Despite Porsche using the battery. I do not understand what's going on here. He's in range.
It's coming to us.
And we got a yellow flag. Oh, is this a safety car? It's a spin. Who has spun?
Yellows, yellows.
Logan Sargent behind us. If Mick keeps this up, he's not only going to get into the DRS of Porsche, which he only just missed at the end of the last lap. He's now very much in it. He might even be able to drop Joe in the process. Let's see if we can do that. See if we can drop him. I don't understand how Mick was able to go quicker than Porsche when Porsche was dumping his battery. That is bizarre.
Okay, copy. Good.
Very bizarre. He wasn't even close enough to really get the slipstream either. We have not been able to
Copy.
drop Teo. To drop Joe. So let's harvest. Mick will be stopping for hard tyres in the next couple of laps. This is very odd. Logan Sargent has to stop early thanks to that, or slightly earlier than planned, thanks to that spin. Ruining his tyres. And he will come out lapped behind George Russell. There is Lance Stroll. Problem for Albon.
Is the car okay? I'm getting like weird vibrations starting my laps.
Where is Albon? He's in P11 right now.
Copy.
Head down now, try to get a good pace.
Now there's a bit of clear air between the two, but that's because we kept making harvest for longer than planned.
Need to focus on going forward now.
There is race leader Lando Norris. Sainz has gone onto a set of softs to take him through to the end. Leclerc is going to go to the end, I think, on those hard tyres. Let me see. We're going to go one less lap because we're going to get lapped. Does that mean I can now get away with the mediums? They're slower. Yeah, we'll just stick to the plan.
Box.
Copy. Box is fine.
We need to pass him. We are much faster than him. Come on.
And we dropped Magnussen again.
Copy.
Onto the pits we come. Final stop then for Mick Schumacher. Let's make this a good one, please, boys. .704. I think that's our new personal best stop this race. Through goes Leclerc. There's George Russell. Sainz is just behind. Logan Sargent set a new fastest lap of 1:19.5. I think very much helped by being in the slipstream of the Ferrari. Couple more laps to go for Teo. Magnussen's caught him.
Full focus on warm-up of the front line.
Copy.
have to fend off Logan Sargent. While waiting for those tyres to come up to temp.
Box.
Copy, box.
Norris is in. Sainz sets a new fastest lap. There is Lando Norris. And that will give us a little bit of a reprieve, potentially, from Logan Sargent. Well, maybe not. I was hoping Sargent would immediately get blue flagged, but he's
The tires are now
ignored
in the
them
window. Come on.
just there. Perez into the pits now as well. Magnussen goes through.
Copy that.
And once again, we cover off Logan Sargent.
Copy.
I am concerned about where we're going to give the place back. Well, I say give the place back. Where we're going to get blue flagged. Okay, see, we pull over for the blue flag. Sargent takes the opportunity to try and squeeze through and does. Can we get the position straight back? No, we can't. Ah,
Eyes forward. Come on.
that's frustrating.
Yeah, copy. Copy.
Currently in 19th place with Mick.
.4 ahead.
Really hope these blue flags aren't going to be our
Yeah, no
undoing.
Pit in.
Mick has just got to finish to be guaranteed to achieve his sponsor target, but we need 18th. Take a screenshot there. Bad stop for Porsche, 4.7. Yeah, Teo needs to finish in 18th place or higher, and currently he is not close enough.
To go. So get these tires back up to 10.
Copy, copy.
On second, I have a moth on my screen. Not anymore. Okay, at one point it looked like we might be able to keep pace with Esteban Ocon, but that has clearly not been the case today. He's going to get out comfortably ahead of us. He will have a little bit of pain to go through soon in terms of being lapped by the Ferraris. Russell won't be lapping him because Russell needs to box, but Norris will. Stroll is behind us.
Temperature's looking good for me.
I don't think he's closing in enough at the moment to be a threat. Gasly's in the pits. And we have got out in front of Pierre Gasly. What tyres is Gasly on, though? Don't be soft, don't be soft. Mediums. See, that might be slightly worse.
2.8 now.
Hopefully Stroll will lap him this lap before before he comes in. Can't see that happening somehow. Let's try and close back up onto Logan Sargent.
Copy.
See if he can punch
Gap
through as well.
1.0.
That'd be nice. Get in front of him.
Come on, keep it up.
Frustrate him. Joe's going to come out behind us.
Close the gap.
Russell's going another lap. Is Stroll going to box this lap? Yes, he is. So that removes the threat of being lapped by Stroll. Schumacher goes around the outside of turn 3. Gets through on Logan Sargent. Lovely
Really,
stuff.
really good job.
Now we're just going to hold that position. Teo is closing in as well. He's now in range of Logan Sargent.
Copy. Copy.
Can we maybe dive bomb past Logan here? No, but we're putting the pressure on Sargent, which means he's going to lose out on DRS. We don't have any battery left. Can we get through here? Come on, we can get him, we can get him. Late on the brakes, late on the brakes. There you go. Lovely stuff.
Remember the rear?
Copy.
Good job.
So, 15th and 16th, that is better than I thought we would do. Although, having said that, you take out the 3 retirements, that would actually be 18th and 19th, which is about what I was expecting. So, yeah, pace-wise, we are where I thought we would be, there or thereabouts. The retirements obviously helped. Kind of regretting not going 18th or higher with both drivers, but it's a gamble that I didn't want to take on the off chance that we would get those retirement positions against getting no money at all. So better to just play it safe and get a little bit less, but an easier target. Evening, Wayne. You're a little late tonight. Oh wow, just seen the state of Sargent's tyres. No wonder we suddenly his pace suddenly dropped away. Magnussen needs to stop again as well, and we are close enough that we will catch him, or he will come out behind us when he boxes. So we could be looking at potentially 14th and 15th.
Focus on yourself.
Porsche has closed the gap. There's Magnussen into the pits. This will almost certainly be for a set of softs. "13 laps to go. And soft tyres it is.
Stay focused.
He'll get out just in front of Zhou. Those two will be scrapping over last place temporarily. That is George coming through to lap them on his new softs. What kind of pace are we doing? 121. Yeah, we're not really catching anyone in front of us, are we? Maybe we will with Teo taking point on those quicker tyres. Just want to build his battery up a little bit first. Albon's in. He's still too far ahead, and when he comes out on softs, even with that issue that he's got, it's still going to be too good. What is the issue that he's got anyway? We never did look, did we? Let's have a look, shall we?
Don't worry about that now.
Gearbox. Early in the season to be losing a gearbox. Just 3 races down. And in comes Logan Sargent. How are we looking on pit stop times? Pretty bad, I'm guessing. Where are we? 17th and 18th. Current 10th place time is 2.59. So we're 10th and a half almost away from making the leaderboard.
Don't worry.
Okay. Copy.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, just can't get alongside quick enough. Maybe here. No. God damn. Don't want to issue the instruction to, clear off out of the way, but we might have to.
Come on.
Evening, Clark. There we go. Porsche is away.
Copy. Copy.
And I don't realistically expect us to gain any more places. It's just insurance, given that we need 18th or higher with Porsche. Getting in front of Mick is just one more place of a cushion between us and 18th. Here comes George in the background, followed by Gasly,
Copy, copy.
Magnussen, and Zhou. Perez moves up to 7th past Yuki Tsunoda. It is looking like it's going to be another 1-2 for Ferrari, but can't count out Norris. He's only 2.5 seconds behind. He's on the most durable set of tyres out of the 3 that's left. Leclerc's tyres, those hard tyres, down to 48%. That's big loss in life compared to Norris's tyres. Not a huge number of laps to go. 9 laps left. Norris is lapping slightly quicker as well. Russell has already lapped Mick Schumacher. He'll be attacking Teo next. And while we're just kind of pootling along, let's just pay attention to this battle at the front. Is that Sargent there? Can't be. No, it's not. Is that Albon then? Albon's a lap down. Wow. Yeah. Only the top 10 on the currently on the lead lap. That's impressive from Ferrari to lap that many people, especially considering the safety car in the early stages, followed by a VSC holding the field back. There's Norris. Still getting that weird bug on the McLaren cars with this mod, unfortunately. Let me just see if we can maybe fix that with a different upscaler. Don't want DLSS. Let's try TSR. That gives us the sparklers instead. FSR2. Don't really know the difference between all these. I just know that from the patch notes that DSS is not good. DLSS. That's a little bit better. What happens if we turn the upscaling off completely? I am curious. Oh, that's on quality mode. Auto off. Let's turn it off. See what happens. Oh, lots of ghosting. Huge amount of ghosting. Wow, okay. Wasn't expecting that. Let's try dropping this down further. It's probably going to make the speckling worse that we've been seeing. Frame rate smoother. No, still got the blocks. This is the only downside to this engine, is that it doesn't seem to play nice on all circuits, unfortunately. Oh man, that's a 35 frame rate. That's not very nice. Looks really sharp, but frame rate is suffering too much. Just going to have to experiment a little further, I think. Let's try 80. Let's give me a frame rate of 40 frames per second. I mean, it does make the game look so much better than the default settings that Frontier run, but it does have some unfortunate side effects. I think with a more powerful graphics card, it wouldn't be an issue, but... Or maybe it's memory, I don't know. Maybe I need more memory, but I would imagine it's the graphics card. And it's not a slouch card by any stretch of the imagination. Now we're getting shiny little trails. Oh, I can live with that. It's less distracting, I think, than the black. I'm going to have to run a couple of test races, I think, and try and fine-tune the settings to something that is smooth and yet still provides that extra clarity and detail that I've been looking for. So Magnussen has caught Mick. I can turn Mick's tyres up now. I'm also going to turn the fuel down.
Trying to get a good pace.
Copy. Copy. Copy.
We just have to remember that we can't go in car with the McLarens, or else we'll get blinded. Like that. Five laps to go, and Leclerc's tyres are really starting to struggle. Sainz might struggle over the next 5 laps as well, for that matter. Norris is in a really good position here. He might actually be the favourite to win this, if he can find a way through. That is the big if.
6 laps after this.
Copy. Copy.
Four laps remaining. Norris hot on the heels of the 2 Ferraris. Mick is holding back Magnussen. And we've got a tyre advantage now as well, so I think we should be good. Even with our tyres on this push setting, we've got enough laps for the tyres to run like this.
You're gonna have 5 laps to go.
Copy.
Same fuel.
It's 4 laps, not 5, because we are a lap down. Norris is close. Sainz and Leclerc really starting to struggle with those tyres. Norris is pushing his tyres a bit as well, though. These three are pretty much guaranteed to finish on the podium. The only question is now which order they're going to finish on the podium in.
Copy.
And with Piastri, Verstappen and Hamilton out,
Copy, copy.
it's the other drivers that are actually doing a pretty good job trying to limit the damage they're going to suffer in the constructors to Ferrari. Russell in 4th, Perez in 7th, which isn't great. Norris 3rd. Red Bull definitely losing out the most out of these guys.
Copy, copy.
3 laps to go. Saving my battery with Schumacher until we get to 2 laps to go. Magnussen's just going to go hell for leather at the end. What I am going to do, though, is push the tyres even harder.
Big push now.
Maybe we can just drop him through the corners before the DRS detection point. Like that. Can we keep that 1 second gap? It's starting to think Leclerc's going to hang on and take the win. Sainz is still vulnerable for second, I think. I think Leclerc's going to hang on for the win. And with 2 laps to go, Ferrari may yet pull off a 1-2. Sainz had a little look there. Tried to pull it off. And we're going to yellow flag. Someone's made a whoopsie.
Yeah, I did a small mistake now.
It's Teo.
Yeah, man, no stress.
Now we're watching the action closely here. Oh no! Why'd they
A little
go?
trip to the gravel.
Well, hopefully not a sign of things
Mick is
to come.
definitely closing back up again. Tempted to let Mick through, actually. He deserves it. He's driven a fantastic race.
Lap to the end.
Copy. Okay, copy, copy.
Copy.
Sainz's tyres now into puncture territory. We're going to stick with this camera, because if the tyres blow, we will see it happening right behind us. We're comfortably clear of Magnussen now with both cars. Oh, it's bad traction out of the final corner for Sainz. This could give Norris an opportunity. Sainz still crucially kept the DRS. Norris couldn't get alongside into turn 1. We'll have another look at 3, but again, I don't think he's close enough. He's not. So now, Sainz has to stay in DRS range, or else he'll be vulnerable on the second of these 2 DRS zones coming up. And he's out of range. He is out of range.
2 laps to go.
Copy.
Can Norris get through and split the Ferraris?
Gap 1.0. Come on.
This is his chance. He has to go all in on this corner. He couldn't get it. Leclerc's going to win. Sainz, I think, is going to hold off Lando. Unless Sainz's tyres pop on this corner.
Bravo, come on.
Norris is having a look. He's not going to get to the line in time. Sainz holds him off. Norris will have to settle for 3rd. Mick is free and clear
Come on.
of Teo. Teo still 3 seconds ahead of Magnussen. Mick's actually driven the better Grand Prix today than Teo. There was that period where we put Teo in front and then we pushed the battery and Mick chased him down without any push, which blew my mind.
Understood.
So 14th place for
the
Mick.
end of the
That's
race.
his best finish of the season, and he deserved that. 15th for Porsche. We finished multiple places higher than I expected, but there were 3 retirements, and they're all big names as well. Max, Hamilton, and Oscar. So you put those guys back in, that's a 17th and 18th finish. That's still a place or 2 higher than I thought we would finish. I thought Mick would probably be maybe on for 19th. I thought 17th, maybe 18th for Teo. But, yeah, 14th and 15th. Not a bad result at all.
This is a wonderful moment for Charles Leclerc as well. Such a beautiful result.
That was a really well-executed race, I thought. Major credit to the driver, the pit wall, and the whole team for that win.
It's hugs all round for the team. In fact, they all deserve a pat on the back as well for everything that they've achieved. And the Monegasque driver certainly proved his worth with a terrific drive today.
Their first win of the season, and the team looking on will be very proud, I'm sure.
Well, it wasn't exactly a walk in the park, but it was a thrilling weekend here for us all at the Australian Grand Prix. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
It was a strangely mixed weekend for them. We saw one driver put in a strong performance, but it was a different story for the other. Definitely positives there, though.
And that's about that for this weekend here in Melbourne.
Next round will see us head east as F1 prepares for the Japanese Grand Prix. We'll see you at Suzuka, a firm favourite for the drivers.
Evening, Farah. Nothing's up with the graphics card, just playing about with the settings, trying to find the best look without suffering on the frame rate too much. This is an enhanced version of the game engine as a mod for 4K ray tracing, and it's just pushing my card a little bit to its limits. So, confirmation of the final result. It is a 1-2 for Ferrari. Leclerc managed to hang on against Sainz. Sainz just hanging on against Lando at the end there. George up 8 places to take 4th and the fastest lap, so a good day for him. Lance Stroll finishes in 5th, up 4 places from where he started, and ahead of teammate Fernando Alonso as well. And it is Perez in 7th, another kind of disappointing day for him. Yuki Tsunoda down in 8th place. Ricciardo up 5 places to get in the top 10 in his home Grand Prix. And Valtteri Bottas up 7 to get into the top 10 and steal that final point. Albon 11th was the first car lapped. Today it was Hulkenberg from Ocon. Schumacher in 14th, 15th for Teo, 16th for Magnussen, 17th for Gasly, 18th for Zhou, 19th for Logan Sargent. And then the retirements. Max locking up and into the barrier at turn 7, and Hamilton and Oscar having a very early collision that brought out a full safety car. Hamilton will have a 3-place penalty for his part in that collision when we get to Suzuka. Let's take a look at the drivers' standings then. Sainz is top with 62 points. Teammate Leclerc has closed the gap up a little bit. He outscored him by 7 today, and the gap is now down to 7 points. And he moves up into 2nd place in the standings as well. Up 1 place as well is Lando into 3rd on 42 points with his podium. Max dropping down to 4th place now, down 2 places thanks to his non-finish. He's on 40 points. George in 5th moves above Perez into that position, chasing down Max. He's on 29 points, 13 scored today. Perez now down into 6th place on 22 points. 7th for Oscar Piastri, 13 points for him again, and no points for him after that crash. Stroll up 2 places into 8th. He's on 12 points, moving ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who also has 12 points. Hamilton down into 9th. Fernando Alonso in 10th. Gets into the top 10. He's now on 10 points. Then below him, we have Yuki Tsunoda down 2 into 11th with 6 points. Ricciardo in 12th has 2. Valtteri gets his first point of the season. He moves up 3 places into 13th, as does Alex Albon, up 3 into 14th. Hulkenberg down into 15th. Porsche drops to 16th. 17th for Ocon. Mick stays in 18th place, and it's Magnussen 19th, 20th for Gasly, 21st for Zhou. Logan Sargent now takes up his position at the bottom of the standings. Let's take a look then at the constructors. Ferrari top, big points day for them today, 43 points for Ferrari. Red Bull picking up just 6 thanks to Checo. McLaren 15 points, only 1 car finishing. Same for Mercedes, only 1 car finishing for them. Aston getting both in the top 10, they get 18 points today. 6 points gained for RB and a point for Sauber. So the gap at the top is 55 points between Ferrari and Red Bull. Then 7 points further back is McLaren. Mercedes are 14 points behind McLaren in 4th on 41. 22 points for Aston, 8 for RB. Sauber with their first point of the season sees them up 3 places into 7th. Also up 3 places is Williams. Haas dropping down 1. We drop down 3 into 10th, so we are no longer in our achieving our target of 9th or higher. And Alpine dropped to the bottom of the standings. In terms of the fastest pit stop, it was Logan Sargent's stop that was quickest. Ferrari getting both cars in the top 10 in 2nd and in 8th. Sauber getting both cars in there as well in 3rd and 10th. Mercedes getting some points with George. McLaren with Lando in 5th. Haas gets some points with Hulkenberg, and RB gets some with Tsunoda in 7th. Alpine taking 9th place there with Ocon. Let's see what that's done to the pit stop challenge. McLaren top with 78 points. Ferrari second, 55 points for them. Up 2 places into 3rd is Mercedes on 33 points. And just 2 behind them and up 3 places is Williams. They're on 31 points now, picking up 25 thanks to that stop from Logan. Alpine dropped down 2 places to 5th. They're tied on 31 points with Williams. Then it's Sauber with 24 points ahead of Red Bull, also on 24 points. They're down 3 places now into 7th. RB have 12 points. Haas up 1 into 9th with 10 points. Aston have 5. We still have yet to score a point. And there you see our stops. They kind of got quicker all the way through until that final stop for Porsche, where we had a problem with the car jacks. But we are getting closer to being able to score points. We're not there yet, and we won't be anytime in the immediate future, but we are knocking on the door of potentially stealing a point here and there. Both drivers got their sponsor targets achieved. 339 grand for Mick, 452 for Teo, so that's another 790,000 or so added to the kitty. Let's head back to HQ and start prepping for Suzuka. Tour Centre is upgraded. That'll be quite nice for a bit of extra cash. How much will it cost to upgrade? Just 68,000. Yes, we will go ahead and do that now. Would like to do the helipad, but I can't afford it just yet. Let's take a look at our emails. Did the cars come through unscathed? No, we broke a suspension and a front wing. Well, they just wore out on Teo's car there. Engine's down a bit on power. Gearbox is starting to go a little bit as well. But we achieved a pretty strong finish against our expected finish predictions. Let's see what the board thought of our finish there. They were disappointed with Melbourne. What? They were delighted with 14th. They were delighted with 13th when one car didn't even finish in Sakir, and the other car finished, 18th, 17th, 18th, I think, in Jeddah. We get 14th and 15th today, and they're disappointed. What is going on with the board? That is a great result, all things considered. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Let's fix the cars, shall we? Manufacture. No. There we go. We've installed what we need. Install So chassis, rear wing, side pod and underfloor all at risk. Front wing is likely to go on that car soon as well, and then everything else is at medium risk. So yeah, that front wing's definitely not going to make it through after Suzuka. That's going to need to be switched out. Other parts might go, might not. We'll see. We have some ATR hours to spend and enough money to get one of the 2 wing projects started and 1 space available. So, front or rear? Front or rear? Let's get a look at the rear first, I think. See what kind of gains we can get with half the hours. We may end up just dumping all the hours on this, but I do want to try and put some on the front wing as well, if at all possible. Let's see. Are we looking at any gains? It's not too bad. A little bit of gain. Nothing earth-shatteringly good. We take a little bit of life out of the rear wing. Up the airflow sensitivity a little bit. Up the drag reduction and the DRS. It's going to hurt the downforce, but we've got a new underfloor being built. That's going to give us a nice DRS boost. We'll still get a little bit extra on the high speed. Gain a little bit of general speed, an extra little bit on the acceleration. And our dirty air tolerance will go up by 1.5%. I think that's what we have to do. Let me just see what would happen if we put all the hours in. Not a massive gain. Yeah, we'll split them. There we go. We gain, just in the DRS, we only gain like 0.5%. So, yeah. Let's get 1 engineer on that. 42 days. So that will be ready to go on the car for Imola. Assuming we have a slot available to actually build. And that leaves me 700 grand. It's not a lot, but it's something. Right, we have our scout report on Atuka. $57, $58, $56, $57. Control isn't great. There's only 17. Smoothness at 50, 56, 53, 54. Let's see, he's got a very high development rate. Let's propose a contract. We'll keep it cheap. So from 90 grand as a signing bonus, just offer him 100k. And let's see if he'll accept that. We can now start scouting someone else. Rio's 30. I don't really want to have an aging driver that old. Suppose we have to look at the Wassa. He is out of contract. He's going to be more expensive, though. Pretty sure of that. I would love to get Arvid in the team. Miata is not tied to another team at the moment, so we'll scout him. He is actually racing an F2, so we might have to buy him out of his contract with Rodin. But we'll see about that. get some feedback on him. Our team hub hits level 2. Very nice. That will increase our development a little bit. Getting an extra 4% thanks to our sponsors. So it should be at 40. We're at 44. Three new designs are ready to go. Chassis, side pods, and suspension. And I've got enough money to make one. Maybe two. Depending on which part we go with. Let's see which one is the most expensive. That's 300. It takes 8 days. So we can get 2 of those started. That's 450, so I can only do 1 of those. And chassis, 550, and they take the longest time. So let's go ahead and get the chassis started, I think. That needs to be 158 grand. Got a couple of days to go to finish the month off. Right. How have our rookies done? An extra point of cornering, adaptability, defending and braking. We're not keeping them beyond this season, so that's fair enough. How about our main drivers? Mick has gained 2 points in accuracy. Very nice. A point in overtaking, 2 points in defending, and 3 points in reaction for Teo. Wow, what a good month for Teo. 3 points in reactions. That is awesome. Pedro Matos goes up by an overall ranking point to 76 now. Our manufacturing on the underfloors is finished. So we have 1 underfloor per driver of the new model now. Let's take a look at March in Formula 1. RB have unveiled a new front wing. Strong performance on track. And now they're working on a rear wing as well. Haas saying it's been tough. 9th in the constructors. They're ahead of me now, annoyingly. Let's get the pit crew training done. So we should be starting the month with 0 fatigue, or maybe 1%. 1%. There we go. So let's put in a full day of gym training. And again here. And then hopefully again here. Yes, lovely. Then we go to Japan, and then we'll give them the Monday off. Let's do a day of car building. Then we'll start to focus in on some of our individual skills a little bit. Perfect. That's about as close as I can get. We're at 20% fatigue there. Let's do a full day of gym training. 23, 14, 5. I can get a morning of car building in here, I think. Just about. Then we go to 35%, give them the Monday off. Full day of car building. Then we'll do some split training. Where did I finish? 14th and 15th in the end. I think. Was it 15th and 16th? I think it was 14th and 15th. But not good enough for the board, apparently. I think they maybe just be unhappy because we slipped in the standings down to 9th. No, 10th, sorry. That's pushing my luck a little bit. Let's make sure. Let's give them those 2 days off. So, yeah, there we go. Not bad. Chance of mistake actually goes down ever so slightly if we are looking at the wrong thing. There we go. Looking at the end of the month. So we'll actually gain a little bit of improvement on our mistake reduction there. 12.36%, still too high, but getting there. And we've balanced out our stats here now. So now we can just leave them on balanced going forward. We've taken another 300ths of a second off the estimated pit stop time. Ideally, we'd like to get more of that down, but we can only do so much in a short period of time. And we have improved our car building a little bit. We could ignore the car building, but it is something that, is potentially more important while we're in a stage where our drivers are potentially more likely to make mistakes. Because that determines how quickly we can change like a broken front wing, for example. So we want that decent. There we go. That's confirmed in. Really would be nice to cheer up Aurelian a little bit more as well. Let's see. Got 1.27 mil. It's not enough to start building the front wing. We've got a vote coming up somewhere. I think the vote's going to be here. Yeah. New regulation vote proposed next Monday. So when we come back from Suzuka, and then that will open up the research when the results are tallied the final a week later. We do have a big injection of cash due in just a couple of days, which is going to be about 10 million. And that's not sure whether I'm going to put that into car development or drop a chunk of it on the factory. I think we really need to probably put an upgrade on the factory. Scouting from Miata will be ready. Let's advance to that. So 9 months left on his contract. I'm thinking long term that he'll just be my development driver, but we'll see how he develops. He's still young enough that he could do something. Salary's only 280k, but that means he's probably going to want more than I'm prepared to offer him. He's still got a very high development rate despite being 24 years old. I think he might be worth a punt. All depends how much he's going to want to join. Probably more than I'm prepared to offer him. Let's go to 1 million. Yeah, it's only there on 1 million, and I don't want to go that high. $950, that's a lot for a driver who's not going to be heavily focused in my plans. But I do want to have a Japanese driver in the system, given that we are a Japanese-backed team. Let's up from that and see if he goes for that. Don't really want to go any higher than that. So if he does join, he'll complete his season in F2 this year and then join us next year. hopeful that he'll earn more experience racing in F2 than he would necessarily just sitting in the reserves, you know, using the simulator here and there. 14th and 15th, Tony. Right, big cash day. Target achieved with a little bit left over. Actually, a bit more left over than initially plotted in, thanks to the improvements to our hospitality area. No, that's still going through, isn't it? So the improvement to our memorabilia room. 5.275 million added there. We had a wind tunnel hire worth 4.7 mil as well. So that's a nice big cash injection. We've got 11.25 mil. So we're going to spend 7 of that upgrading the factory, because we only have the ability to make 2 parts, and it's, while it might be okay this year, it certainly won't be enough next year. We will need that extra bay. So let's spend the next 2.25 months building an upgrade to the factory. We can go to car parts now, and we can start to design that front wing. And if we're lucky, we still might be able to get this in time for the same race as our rear wing, which was Imola, I believe. That's our target. I think we're going to miss Imola, so I think it's going to be Monaco. Actually works out quite well to have a new front wing for Monaco. We want to improve airflow sensitivity, and we want to improve airflow at the front a little bit. Take a little bit of life out of that. That's not giving me the improvement in the low speed that I thought it would. Let's do that. Just add a touch more on the front wing there. Yeah, that's quite a nice improvement. Okay, so 42 days. Yeah, we won't have that in time for Imola, but we will have it in time for Monaco. It will actually eat the tyres slightly. Can we maybe fix that? Let's do that. That will fix the issue with the tyres, I think. Yes. We'll lose a little bit of dirty air tolerance. But we will boost our performance across the board everywhere else. So we'll go with that. One engineer, 42 days, 1.8 mil. There we go. Let's go into manufacturing. We've got a slot available. Let's see. Let's go with suspensions. Let's get 4 of those up and running. So we'll have 2 on the car for China. And I went for those over the side pods because these will help improve our tyre wear a little bit. Let's increase the number of chassis as well while we have some cash. Let's go for 3 of those. And we're down to just 152 grand again. All of that money that we had, gone. Just like that. But we've got some parts on the way now. So new chassis coming. We've got new underfloors that we can put on the car right now. We've only got 1 of each. Or 1 for each car, no spares. Got a new suspension being built, and we've also got a front and rear wing now in the development phase. So hopefully we can start to push this car forward a little bit. Let's do our sponsor plan. We've got a race day appearance. That's worth 1.6 mil. That's not bad. Let's get old Nut plotting away on that. Let's send off the scouts. Gonna have to do something I didn't really want to do. Don't really want to put the factory up, given that it's kind of important. Head of aero. Design center. See, I don't know if the design center thing kicks in right at the very beginning of a project and then locks in at those values, or if... I think it does. I don't know if this is going to have a negative impact on the parts that we've just got started, our wings, if we were to select this. Hopefully it won't. So we'll go with that, because we're not planning on making any more designs in the immediate future. Still need a fair bit more. We'll have to go with the head of aero. Still need more. I need 2 more. I'm going to wear out my pit crew or my sporting director. Let's go with the factory, which I really can't afford to do, but we need the money. And we'll have to go with the head of aero there as well. So a busy month. Hopefully we won't be needing to design anything in the next 6 weeks, but I'm sure we'll probably get something going, even if it's just a bit of research. But it's going to be worth a little bit of cash for us, as you can see. So we have to make sure that we achieve those. Right. We are 2 days away from Suzuka. That's tomorrow's race. We'll get ourselves up to that point, and then we will mess around with the new underfloor tomorrow. So, let's check the inbox, first of all. We're waiting to hear from Ritomo if he's interested in the contract. We're also waiting to hear from Tuka, see if he wants to come join us. We've got just enough money left in the bank to sign him, because we offered him, I think, 100k signing bonus, or 90k, something like that. Race preview. This is where the championships stand at the moment. Ferrari looking very strong at the moment. First and second in the drivers. Comfortably ahead in the constructors. Red Bull in second. McLaren third. But no points for Max. Certainly dealt them a blow. And it's not been a great start for Mercedes either. I mean, it's not been horrible. Fourth. Comfortably clear of Aston at the moment. Not too far from McLaren, but a long way off Ferrari. And of course, no points for Hamilton. And a penalty for China, for the main... Sorry, for Suzuka, for the main Grand Prix. After that collision with Oscar. Oscar's still not really kicking into gear just yet. Hopefully we'll see better things to come from him as the season progresses. What's the weather going to be like? Is it going to be a dry race? Is it going to be a wet race tomorrow? It's going to be a dry race, but wet quali, potentially. That could be interesting. Our first wet quali of the season, maybe. So there we go. That is it for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. If you have, then be awesome if you went ahead and dropped a like on the channel. You can also hit that subscribe button as well, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of live streams and future videos. We are still rocking out with the precinct. Those videos going live every day at 6 o'clock until we finish the playthrough. And part 2 of our American Truck Sim playthrough will go live tomorrow at 7. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that one. Going forward, I am going to be putting Construction Simulator 3, the mobile game / console version of that, on the channel in the coming days as well. I need to record some more of that before, well, some of it, period, before that happens. And I will be recording some more ATS with the wheel this weekend. Might do a live stream, a random ETS live stream with the wheel over the weekend as well. Farah, Wayne, if you guys are up for a convoy, then we can see what we can squeeze in. Not committing to a time yet, but we'll see how the weekend goes. And that's it for me. So thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with more F1 Manager very soon.